Hello and a very welcome to AE Accounting Tutorials. We are continuing our lesson on control accounts. But in this particular video, I want us to take a full practice question on reconciliation of control accounts. So if you are new to this channel, I will encourage you to subscribe to this channel, turn on your notification bell so that any moment I upload any new video, you get notified on your devices. But take note that in the part 3 of this video, we've already looked at the meaning of reconciliation of control accounts, and we've also looked at the format of the reconciliation of the individual debtors balance with that of the control account balance, and we've proceeded to look at the format of the corrected sales ledger control account. Is that okay? So now we are taking a question that will help us reconcile the individual debtors balance with that of the sales ledger control account balance. So let's quickly go through the question and solve it together to enhance our understanding on the concept of reconciliation. The accountant of AE Limited is carrying out a reconciliation of the sales ledger control account balance, which is $688,480 to the total of the balances on the individual accounts in the debtors ledger, which is $704,536. The following errors has been found. I. A bad debt recovered of $2,000 from a credit customer not recorded in the control account. II. A contra item of $60,000 has not been entered in the sales ledger control account. III. A check of $2,220 from a customer has been dishonored. The correct double entry has been posted, but the individual accounts have not been updated. IV. A payment of $1,288 from a customer has incorrectly been entered in the debtors ledger as $932. VIN. A discount allowed totaling $400 have not been entered in the control account. VIN I. A cash received of $3,200 has been debited to the individual customer's account in the debtors ledger. VIN II. A total credit sales of $16,000 to Gina Limited have been posted correctly to the ledger account but not recorded in the control account. VIN III. A credit note issued to a customer of $80,000 omitted from the sales ledger control account. You are required to correct the sales ledger control account and reconcile this to the sum total of the individual accounts in the debtors ledger. So here is the question. So in solving reconciliation question, listen and listen good. These are errors found, and we have to reconcile them to make sure that the closing balance on the corrected sales ledger control account agrees with that of the individual debtors account balance. Is that okay? Good. One thing I want you to put at the back of your mind is that any error that affects the sales ledger control account should be corrected over here. On the other hand, any error that affects the individual debtors balance should be corrected here. Is this clear? Good. Now let's go to the errors one by one and try to rectify them to reconcile these two accounts. The first preamble is that the accountant of AE Limited is carrying out a reconciliation of a sales ledger control account balance, which is $688,480 to the total balance on the individual account in the debtors ledger, which is $704,536. So these are the opening balances from the question. Before that, let me write the name of the business. That is AE Limited. The name of the business is very necessary, AE Limited. So the opening balance on the sales ledger control account is $688,480. Good. And we know that the sales ledger control account, it is also known as the total debtors control account, and it has a natural debit balance. So we will have 688,480 as the balance brought down. Good. Or the balance as per question. Is that okay? Good. And we also have a balance on this individual debtors. That is 704,536. We have 704,536. Very good. And this is also balance, the opening balance, or the balance brought down, or the balance as per question. The balance as per the question, or the balance extracted from the list of debtors. Is that okay? Very good. Now, after recording the opening balances, then let's try to rectify the errors one by one. I states that a bad debt recovered of $2,000 from a credit customer not recorded in the control account. A bad debt recovered is not recorded in the control account. So it means that this error has occurred in the control account. I said wherever the error is occurred, let's go and correct it over there. The question says that a bad debt recovered of $2,000 from a credit customer not recorded in the control account. It is not recorded over here. So where do we record bad debt recovered? A bad debt is credited to this account serves as a total debtors account. So bad debt will be recorded at the credit side. But if this bad debt is recovered, we have to debit it to reinstate the debt. Is that okay? To cancel the written off debt. Good. So bad debt recovered are always recorded over here. And I also inform you that any error that will reduce the debtors balance, any error that will reduce the sales ledger control account balance, that is the total debtors ledger balance, it should be debited to this account. And any error that will increase the sales ledger control account balance should be here. So what effects will bad debt recovered not recorded on this account? If bad debt recovered will be recorded at the debit side to increase this account. But if it is not recorded, it means it is reducing this particular account. So it's supposed to be debited. Is this clear? So we have bad debt recovered. So we have a bad debt and recovered. And the amount from the question is $2,000. Very good. II states that a contra item of $6,000 has not been entered in the sales ledger control account. A contra item of $6,000 has not been entered in the control account. It means the error has occurred in the control account, not this account. So we have to correct it over here. A contra entry. What is then a contra entry or a contra item? A contra item, it is a setup. Okay, it means that there is a balance on the sales ledger control account and we are setting it off against another balance. That would probably be the balance on the purchases ledger control account. Is that okay? So if it is not recorded, what effect will it have on this account? A set off, it is not recorded. It means an entry that's supposed to be credited to this account is not recorded. It means it will increase the debtors balance, and any item that increases the debtors balance should be what? Credited. So a contra item or set off, a contra item of 6,000 will be recorded over here. Let's look at the next item. A check of $2,220 from a credit customer has been dishonored. The correct double entry has been posted, but the individual accounts have not been updated. The individual debtors account has not been updated. The individual account. The moment they are talking about the individual account, you should come to the individual debtors account. Is that okay? The double entry for this has been done, but the entry that's supposed to be made in the individual debtors account has not been done. And it was a check of 2,220 from a customer and it has been dishonored. Is that okay? So now the question we have to ask ourselves is that a check dishonored, what effect will it have on the individual debtors balance? I told you that any error that tends to reduce the individual balance should be added. Is that okay? And any error that tends to increase it, we less it. Is that okay? So if a check dishonored, payment of check will be credited to the debtor's account. So if the check is dishonored, you're supposed to debit to increase it. So if it is not recorded, it means we are reducing this balance. So we have to add it. So I'll say add. It is a check dishonored. A check dishonored from a customer. And the amount is 2,222. So 2,220 rather. Good. So we have to add it. But before we even add, we need to still go through the question. There could be some items that are supposed to be added. So let's hold on. Sometimes maybe there could be another item that we're supposed to add. The next error we have to rectify is Ivan. That is a payment of 1,288 from a customer has incorrectly been entered in the debtors ledger as 932. Here we are talking about the debtors ledger. We are talking about the individual debtors ledger. We are not talking about the control accounts. So this error, we have to correct it over here because the error has been committed in the individual debtors ledger. And this error is an undercast error. It is a payment from a customer of 1,288 and it has been entered as 932. This is an undercast, and the difference between these two is 536, an undercast of this amount. So it means that a payment that's supposed to be recorded at the credit side of the individual debtors account has been reduced. Is that okay? So when you reduced a balance or when you reduce a balance on the credit side of the individual debtors account, what effect will it have on the individual debtors balance? It will increase the debtors balance, and we established that any error that tends to increase the debtors balance should be what? Subtracted. So we less a payment from customer and it was an undercast. Take note. And the undercast, it was this, and we had an amount of 536. Very good. Now let's proceed. Vane states that a discount allowed totaling $400 have not been entered in the control account. A discount allowed has not been entered in the control account. Straightforward. The error has been committed in control account. So where do we record a discount allowed in the control account? Discount allowed reduces the debtors balance. Is that okay? So if you did not record it, it means you are increasing the balance. If you did not record an amount here, it means you are increasing the balance. And any transaction or error that increases the balance should be recorded here. But obviously, discount allowed is recorded at the credit side. So discount allowed, and the amount is 400. Good. The next item is cash received of 3,200 had been debited to the individual customer's account in the debtor's account. A cash received from the debtor, but take note that this error has been committed over here, not in the control account, but in the debtor's ledger. Is that okay? Good. So it was a cash received from a customer, but it has rather been debited. So when we have our customers or debtors account this way, if there is a payment or a cash received, if a business receives a cash from the debtor has to credit its account, his account, but it has rather been debited over here as 3,200. So to correct this error, we have to multiply this by 2, or we have to first record the 3,200 to cancel this and record the corrected one, 3,200. So in summary, you can just multiply this by 2 and credit it as 6,400. It means that we're supposed to credit the debtors account by this amount. We did not do it, and we came back and debited it. So if we're supposed to credit debtors account and we did not do it, what effect will it have on this balance? It will rather increases the debtors balance. We're supposed to credit to reduce the balance. We did not. Okay, we rather came to debit. It means that error will tends to what? Increases the debtors balance, and any error that increases debtors balance should be what? Subtracted. So it is a cash received, and we corrected it by 6,400. So we have 6,400 this way. Is that okay? Good. The next item we have to talk about is VIN II. Total credit sale of $16,000 to Gina Limited have been posted correctly to the ledger account, but not recorded in the control account. Good. Where do we record a credit sales in the control account? It is obviously at the debit side. Okay. The double entry for credit sale is that we credit our sales and debit debtors, and this is the total debtors account. So we have a credit sales, and the credit sales is 16,000. Good. The next item we have to look at is VIN III. It states that a credit note issued to a customer of $80 omitted from the sales ledger control account. This means that this error has been committed in the sales ledger control account. It is a credit note issued. Where do we record a credit note issued? It is recorded at the credit side. So we have credit note issued, and from the question the amount is 80. So I may ask, why are we recording it at the credit side? Let me explain this concept to you. The question says that a credit note issued to a customer of 80 omitted. So A Limited is the firm that issued the credit note to the customer. Okay, to the customer. So to the firm, the customer is a debtor, right? So the customer will have the debtors account. With the perspective of the customer, A Limited is a creditor. Good. Take note that creditors increases at the credit side, debtors increases at the debit side. So credit notes or a credit note and debit notes occurs when there is a returns. This means that the customer has returned goods to A Limited, but the customer did not attach a document or a note. So when the goods reaches the premises of A Limited decided to send a note or issue the note to the customer, informing the customer that his account has been reduced in respect of the returns. So when this happened, the customer will also debit the creditor's account to complete the double entry. And this sales ledger control account, it is a total debtors account. Because it is recorded at the credit side of the debtors account, it's supposed to be recorded at the total debtors, the credit side of the total debtors control account. Because they said that it is a credit note issued of $80, it has not been recorded. And how do we do it? And we do it this way, and the concept has been explained over here. Good. I think that is the last part of it. So we are done. The next thing to do is to balance off this account. So how then do we balance off this account? So in balancing of this account, let's first of all balance the sales ledger control account. In balancing, we add the totals. Good, we add the totals. So the total of this is 706,480. This is the larger one, so we still have 706,480 this way. So the balance CD will be 700,000. That is adding debts, and subtract it from the total. And this balance is the revised balance. So it will be the balance brought down of 700,000. Good. This 700,000 is the revised balance. The reason why I'm calling it a revised balance is that it must be the same as that of the balance that we will ascertain on the individual debtors balance that we reconcile. Good. So let's also try to close off this account. The total of this is 706,756. The total of these two. Good. Then we have to add these two because we are lessen and subtract it from this. So the total of these two is 6,756 this way. The total of these two will give us this. Now we have to subtract the total of this from this, and this will give us 700,000. You can see that the 700,000 is the same as the revised one. Is that okay? Good. So we call this a revised balance as per the corrected control account balance. So I will call this revised balance as per the corrected control account balance. Control account balance. Good. We have reconciled the two accounts and then it has now come to agreement. You can see that initially the balance on the sales ledger control account is this, and it's completely different from that of the balance here. Meanwhile, it's supposed to be the same. That is why we rectify all the errors, and now error corrected, the balance has been rectified as well. Basically, this is how we go through a reconciliation of control account question. In our subsequent video, we may look at a reconciliation of the individual creditors account balance with that of the purchases ledger control account. Is that okay? And subsequently, we may also look at income taxes IAS 12. It is a special request from some of my subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe, request for your preferred topic, and your preferred topic will be solved on this, or will be tackled on this platform.